Hey guys, this is Super Barley Brothers coming to you live from Quakecon 2015. We drank last night, so we're having a little bit of a hangover this morning. We just got done doing something that we're going to talk about briefly for you guys, but first, I have to introduce the ghost of Super Barley Brothers past has returned to us from the dead, and that man is Jerry Shepard. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. It keeps on blinking back and forth because we're sitting next to each other, though.
It's awesome, isn't it? I'm
We
going to
got a
keep going like this.
trippy podcast the whole time.
Yes, the video podcast, you're going to see me in two monitors or two screens. So like that, like that, like that, like that.
Okay, let's get that. Okay, that was.
All right, so fuck that. Jerry,
So,
how are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
Welcome. It's great to have you back, man. Glad that you're experiencing QuakeCon with us, and it's great to have you here as a third party.
Thanks.
As always, we have John. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm a little tired. I'm cold. It's cold in here, man.
It did get cold in here.
It got colder after we got back from the demo.
Yes, it did.
So I'm glad that I brought pants, and I'm glad that I brought my jacket with me.
Yeah, so a little bit of that. It was pretty toasty yesterday, and we were kind of worried about our PCs because you've got over 2,000 PCs in this area, and they usually got to kick it down to sub-zero temperatures. And we were afraid that they weren't able to accommodate that, and we came in this morning, and yeah, it got colder. So anyways, let's get to the guts and glory of what we just played.
Literally.
We literally got a chance to go into the exhibit hall today for our press pass early to play Doom Alpha multiplayer. And just to give you guys a little bit of what we played, then I'll go ahead and throw it to my co-host here to talk about what they thought. We played a 6-on-6. I believe it was a 6-minute match or up to 100 kills. And we had fun, I think. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Jerry to talk about your personal experience, what guns you selected, and how you felt about the movement, the gameplay, etc. So take it away.
Okay, so Doom, this is pre-alpha, and we had the opportunity to go in there. I think the first match was 12v12, and then if you won that match, the winning team got divided, and then it was 6v6, right? Kind of like
No, it was it was 6v6 at each time.
All right. Wow. I'm still waking up apparently. I think the game is definitely next gen. We were kind of discussing that when we were coming up. The graphics, I think the graphics, you're looking at your previous kind of fast-paced movement FPSs. Halo comes to mind. I definitely think from a multiplayer perspective, the graphics are there. The movement. We were kind of discussing this with the other guys doing the press event. Was the combat when you're looking at it, it's definitely fast paced, but when you're the actual individual, both I think Scott and I were trying to run. We were both playing with controllers on PCs, and we kept on wanting to sprint or something like that. So you as the individual might have felt a little bit slower than you probably think you should be, at least is what I feel. As far as loadouts, they had 3 standard loadouts, and then you had some custom loadouts. Pretty much I stuck with the rocket launcher. I tried doing the shotgun. Shotgun was definitely powerful. A little bit long of a reload time for a fast-paced shooter. Tried the plasma rifle. That was pretty good. It dealt out some decent damage and whatnot. Within the multiplayer itself, there was a cycle demon room where you could become the demon. I think it was either you or John had mentioned that it's more like a god mode type thing. Pretty powerful. That was fun. And of course, the guys we were playing with, it was just fun. A good game, good messing around. I think we all had fun doing it.
Yeah, so to go a little bit off of what you just talked about with the weapons, I agree that it seemed like everybody was doing rockets. And while
I think that came with the class that was available, because you had 3 basic classes. You had assault, you had
I think marksman was one.
Marksman was
that
one because you
repeater?
had sniper, and then I forget what the third class was, but it was with a shotgun base, and then you had 2 custom loadouts that you could do.
Yeah.
And I think everybody just kind of defaulted to assault class.
And I feel like unless they kind of nerf the rocket launcher a little bit, everybody's gonna be using rockets because it seemed like it was a little too OP for me. Just shit flying. I mean, again, you got to think Quake, and that's where I think they were trying to go off of with this type of combat style was, what do we like to do in Quake? We like to get the rocket launcher, and we like to shoot the shit while we're flying through the air. The problem is, Doom doesn't move that fast. You can't fly like Superman or anything like that. To go back on what you just said, Jerry, about the shotgun, I agree with you. The reload on that is very, it's about 3 seconds where you got to uncock to take out the shells, put 2 new in there, and then pump it back in. One thing that I felt that helped me a little bit was I combined the super shotgun with the plasma rifle, so I could, if I was in close quarters, I'd whip out the shotgun, boom, shoot him real quick, get 40 damage, which I kind of have a problem with. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are. What did you guys think? John, I'll ask you first. What did you think of the numbering system for damage over the characters?
You mean watching it as the hits were working? I thought it
Yeah.
was great because it gave you a good idea of what was going
So
on.
you liked it?
I like that. And see, one of the things that I liked is like with the rocket launcher, you've got that secondary attack where you could detonate all your rockets in midair.
I love that.
So what I would often do is I would fire into a room, and then as I knew that the rocket had crossed the threshold of the door, I would detonate everything.
Absolutely.
And then you could see you could watch the spread on the HUD, and you could see where your enemies were.
Now that I liked, but I'm like, shit, if I'm using my plasma rifle and I'm shooting my enemies just laying into them, I'm seeing 6, and I'm like, stop the fucking numbers.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
They're too big.
Maybe. Now the one
Dude,
thing
took
that I
up the
liked
entire
was,
body when I saw it.
one thing that I really liked was the quad damage.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. But there was an alternative. I believe it. Oh no, that's what it was. It was the gauze rifle. The gauze rifle had the ability to do a right-click alternate, and the alternate view on that turned on thermal vision, so you could see where all the enemies were. In thermal
Really?
mode. Yeah.
I did not try that.
Well, it was funny because I was sitting there, and one of the developers came up behind me. He's like, "Hey, click the right mouse button." So I click it. I'm like, "Oh, holy shit! There's this totally awesome heat vision mode, and I can see where the enemies are at." So I use that to my advantage.
Seeing the one.
Which
Oh,
one
go
was
ahead.
That was the gauze rifle. That was basically the overpowered god gun.
that? Oh, okay.
It's this long rectangular. If you look at my screen right now, it's this long rectangular, and that was the one that had the circle with like the lightning in the middle or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It looked like a rail gun in a way.
Okay.
You had to actually get it in the game. It wasn't one of your loadouts.
It was a drop. Yeah.
One of my favorite, and I don't know, Jerry, if you had a favorite alternate. My favorite was a plasma rifle alternate, where it would shoot that orb of energy and then just hover and explode.
Oh, that reminds me of back when we used to play.
Talking about Unreal Tournament
Yeah.
with the shock rifle. Exactly what it reminded me
It
of.
was kind of like
Absolutely.
the shock rifle.
Did you try any of the alternate fires, Jerry?
I was pretty much focusing, honestly, on the rocket launcher. That was my focus. As far as like in-game, the one thing that I liked, he used the term OP, overpowered, the invisibility. Because think back to multiplayer in like Halo. Okay, you could still see the outline of the Spartan. Pretty definitive. If you know that there's an invisibility pack on the map, you're going to be looking for that. In this though, it was completely invisible, and the only time I got it a couple of times, I got attacked a couple of times with it, and I was able to actually dodge once, and I sent an explosion, and the explosion lit up the invisible person just for a split second. I was able to locate him, but that invisibility, that is going to be a definite game changer if you're pretty skilled.
I actually was able to get the invisibility, and the other team had summoned the demon, and we're going to talk a little bit about that right now. But just a quick note, I was invisible when he was a demon, and he literally was running right by me, and I was like, oh shit.
And
It's like when you see an alien. No, he ran right by me and was just like, argh! And I was just like, all right, move right along, buddy. I ain't shooting your ass.
like the sound effect that went along with that.
It reminded me of a little T-Rex because of little arms.
Oh, good Lord.
Anyways,
Actually, I think we're going to get a copyright strike because that's exactly how the demon sounded. So we just need to watch out for
I
that.
need to tag it and get the actual audio clip or something. So anyways, let's talk about a little bit about that demon rune. So while you're doing this team deathmatch that we were playing, during the match, about halfway through, actually probably about a minute or so in, it would say demon rune about to summon or whatever, and they would give you a little target on the map, and you could focus in on it, find out what room it's in. But then you better watch your ass because everybody knows where that marker is, and you have about 10 seconds to get there. And what you do,
unless you're not already there.
unless you which cheat.
Yeah, I think there were some campers on that
Absolutely.
last round that we were doing.
They
I
knew
don't
where
know
it
what
was
you're
at.
talking about.
Because I don't, we got it once, and by we I mean somebody that was better than me on our team.
Yep.
So
Jerry, did you have a chance to play as the demon at all?
I think I did, and I think that was actually the first round. And I'm going to get my nerd card taken away. I've never really played a Doom game all the way through, and the barely any I've played was the first one way back in the day. So I don't have a lot of reference for what's going on realistically, but
That's okay.
I did become the demon, but I was so just trying not to get killed and killed. I probably did not take advantage of knowing that I was in that mode. I didn't really understand it until like the third or fourth round. But from what I was hearing from y'all, it's pretty freaking powerful.
Dude, yeah. So when I got it the first time, I got it from actually when the opposite team member got killed being the demon. And it will stay there as long as the timer's still going, and if you pick it up, it goes into this like little cutscene where your hands start morphing, and it's like you go, "You are the demon," and that good old id soundtrack. And yeah, you are pretty much God mode. I mean, granted, you can't get killed like I just said, but it takes a lot of bullets to kill you. But again, you're also about 3 times the size of a normal soldier, so you have a wide area of target that you can get shot at. But you have dual rocket launchers on the top, and all you got to do is just keep firing that shit. And I was running because I felt like, and John, tell me if you felt the same way, I felt like I could run a lot faster being that demon.
Well, when I was the demon, I just stayed hovered above everybody.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I just used the jetpack. Now, the only downside is the jetpack is it's limited in the amount of time that you can utilize it, but while I was using it, I used it to kind of hover and reposition and make vertical strikes down on targets.
Shit, I was just running around the halls going, hey!
But see,
I was just like, hi!
See, when we got broken up as a group, I ended up with another team, and the goal once somebody became the demon on the team was hold and possess, and so the group would stay cohesive in one general area, and the demon would serve as kind of the bounty and
that's what our guy was telling us. He was, because supposedly, and maybe I was just blind, I didn't see it on my map, when the opposite team turns demon, are you able to see where they're, is that what that red thing was?
It's like a red circle or something that shows up, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know what the hell that was.
You have a general idea of where the demon is at. You just got to learn the maps.
And that's why everybody was saying once somebody turned demon, our teammates were saying, guard him, guard him. I'm like, fuck, I don't need you to guard me. Watch me. And I'm like, take him out. I was getting like killing spree, multi-kill, all this shit was popping in my ear. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, this is beautiful. Sounds to my ear. So anyways, any final thoughts, Jerry?
Well, let's talk about real quick. One of the big things that I think they showed it in E3, they showed it in Quakecon last year, that like the whole crowd was cheering on was those melee special finisher moves. I never was able to execute one because honestly I wasn't thinking about it. But I had one executed on me, and even the one dying goes into that cinematic cut scene, and dude, that's pretty cool on how they pull those off.
Yeah, John, did you ever get to perform one, or did you not?
No, I didn't pull off any melees, but I did throw my grenades around a couple times.
Yeah, see, I didn't even use the grenade because I was like, shit, I got a rocket launcher. I'm not even thinking about throwing the grenade.
Yeah.
But with what Jerry just said, I was like, holy shit, what the hell just happened to me? Because you don't think in a game like this, in multiplayer, I'm going to melee somebody. But yeah, I had it happen twice to me. They call it a glory kill. I call it a glory hole kill. But literally, I felt like
Did it get you right in the face?
the guy came up from behind me, and he literally pulled my head back and punched me from under my, looked like my ass, could have been my lower back, and I split in half.
Oh,
and
damn.
I was just like, what the hell just happened? I don't know if
I
you
wish I could have
remember
seen
your
something like
cutscene,
that.
what happened. Do you know what your guy?
I think it was because he came from behind. I think it was more. He torqued me back and head snapped. I think it was what mine
Nice.
was.
I was like, what the hell? I got to try to do that. But then I was like, there's no way I'm going to get that close to somebody to do a melee.
Yeah.
It's all about
Man,
shooting.
that's where definitely when that invisibility would come in handy.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god.
That or a shotgun.
Yeah, and I think with any multiplayer game, honestly, you got to give it a couple of rounds. You got to get used to it. And the fact that we didn't have any campaign experience within this game, we were learning as we went, right? And it seems like, if we were able to do maybe 4 more rounds, I think we as a group, the way I understand that we game, we would have gotten to that point and everything like that. Because, we're more of a casual gamers than some of those guys that were in there. And that are accustomed to Doom and are accustomed to Quake all the time or something like that. So I think once you get to that certain level, there's definitely going to be some cool things that you're going to be able to pull off in that game.
Yeah, they actually, in the exhibit hall, and then I'll see if you guys have any more final thoughts. It was pretty cool. We actually saw a replica of BFG, and
Holy shit,
that gave me hope that will be a uber weapon that you can unlock in the game, as opposed to like the Demon Rune. That'd be badass to unlock the BFG and just fire that fucker and just watch everybody just disintegrate. It'd be so badass to see. But anyways, Jerry, final thoughts? Did you like what you played? Are you now more interested in the game than you were? Or
yeah. I mean, I was interested in the game, but this one definitely has the LAN party feel, or online gaming, get your friends together, start up a chat type thing. I think we all have a lot of fun. The guys that we were teamed up with, we were having good conversation, having a lot of fun while playing. To me, it seemed more casual, and I just don't know if it was because of the groups we were playing with, but it brought a fun aspect to it. So I'm going to look forward to it.
Completely agree with you on that. And what I really can't wait for, the last thing, they didn't really talk too much detail about it. They just showed it, that they showed it at E3. If you guys watched the Doom presentation on E3, they talked about that snap map. And that's actually going to be cross-platform for what PC creators create, what console creators create. You're going to be able to download custom maps made by the public. And that is what I'm really excited to see, what people are able to come up with, because that is what we loved about playing with Quake, playing those custom maps and playing with Unreal Tournament with custom maps. I'm really interested to see what ideas people come up with when they make it, because you can customize anything from traps to having, like we saw, the flamethrowers coming out of the wall and everything like that. Looks pretty cool. John, thoughts, final impressions?
Take my money.
All right.
I mean, just playing off of that, and seeing the video gameplay that we've already seen from last year, we know it's going to be good. I mean, there's no question about it. So it's just a matter of actually waiting for the product to hit market in the spring and then purchasing it.
Yeah, so they did say yesterday, and I know that the people in our group did pre-order Wolfenstein to get into the Doom beta, not just because of that, but whatever. They did say that the Doom beta would be sometime close to launch, which their launch is spring. So my guess, if I had to throw a window of opportunity to be on the lookout, is probably fall, winter, maybe early next year. But they did say that they're going to start notifying specific people that they have randomly selected to download the alpha and get in on that. So it's great that you guys, as we get random marketing products right now, keep up with us. We have the Fallout 4 presentation this afternoon. We're going to record our thoughts on that right afterwards. So stay tuned, and as always, thanks for listening. Bye.